Good evening, everyone. Welcome to all our participants today. Today, Forbes Care has taken a new initiative, which is basically Know Your Cancer Diet. It's the meeting for patients who are undergoing the cancer treatment and for their caregivers. And today we have Ms. Sharmela ji, who is the senior onco-dietitian. She will be the speaker for today's event, and I, Jaitri Mandal, psycho-oncologist from Forbes Care, will be moderating today's webinar. Here, every month we will be coming virtually to discuss about the cancer diet and clearing all the doubts. So caregivers and cancer patients can openly discuss about your concerns about the diet pattern. Today here is our first meetup with you all, and we will be discussing majorly about how important is the nutrition and diet for cancer treatment. Ms. Sharmela ji, who is our senior onco-dietitian from Forbes Care, she will help us to understand more in detail about the dietary needs and concerns about cancer patients. So now it's a pleasure for me today to introduce Ms. Sharmela. She is associated with Forbes Care since November 2020. She is certified in cancer nutrition during her post-graduation. She is also a member of IAPEN, and she believes in food is thy medicine. She has provided around 800 dietary consultations for patients at Forbes Care till date. Good evening. Now I am handing over to Sharmela for her presentation.
Good evening all. Thank you, Ma'am Jaitri, for the wonderful welcome. So today our key contents are: who is Onco-Dietitian? How are diets personalized? What are the challenges of cancer patients when it comes to nutrition? How personalization helps overcoming this challenge? Let's move on to our key contents now. Who is Onco-Dietitian? An onco-dietitian exclusively works with cancer patients to develop a personalized diet before, during, and after treatment. Optimizes patients' health and minimize the side effects. Additionally, onco-dietitian offers simple practical tips and advice to achieve your nutritional needs, advice on ways to deal with weight loss, fatigue, and nausea brought on by illness or treatment side effects. Personalized guidelines based on biological needs and unique circumstances. Plans for families or caregivers in support of patients' nutritional needs. Recipes, list of foods, dietary supplements. Moving on to the next key content, how are diets personalized? We call this procedure a DIME, where A stands for assessment, D stands for diagnosis, I stands for intervention, and M and E stands for monitoring and evaluation. I will explain this procedure with an example so that everybody here can understand it easily. Assessed with height and current weight. This is what we call assessment. And diagnosed whether underweight or overweight or obese or normal. So this is what we call diagnosis. And intervened to cut down fats if overweight and to increase the protein intake if he or she is overweight. And when the intervention is done, there comes the final procedure called monitoring and evaluation. Now you can understand why a follow-up diet session is important for each and every patient, because in monitoring and evaluation, when the interventions are done for underweight, for example, if there is no improvement in weight, when a high protein diet is suggested, then maybe the protein supplement which is suggested can be changed, or the dosage can be increased. That will help the patient. Sometimes the issue may be in reduced appetite. That is why the food intake is affected. Then the appetite loss will be corrected here. That is why monitoring and evaluation is very important. A follow-up diet session is very important for each and every one. Here I have considered only weight as example. So don't think we are assessing only your height and weight. There are many other criteria too which we are assessing. diagnosing, intervening, and evaluating you. Moving on to the next content. What are the challenges of cancer patients when it comes to nutrition? Reduced or increased appetite, nausea and vomiting, extreme fatigue, constipation or diarrhea, cachexia, the term we use to define muscle wasting, awareness on food as food safety, and comorbidities. I hope many present here would have come across at least any one of these challenges. How personalization is going to help in overcoming this challenge? So I have already mentioned like appetite, nausea, fatigue, constipation. So the interventions done from dietitian side will be like to include appetizers like soups to treat appetite, or inclusion of ginger, crackers, nuts, fruits, or mint leaves to treat nausea and vomiting, and improving the protein intake and vegetables and fruits intake to get rid of this fatigue. If anybody is facing constipation, then a high fiber rich diet is recommended. To fight cachexia, again a high protein rich diet which may include tofu or paneer or fish and eggs will be recommended. When it comes to awareness on food safety, this is very important when it comes to cancer treatment. Neutrophils, the main WBC count, which will be abnormal for most of the patients. There comes the important term neutropenic diet, where uncooked foods are avoided. Hygiene plays a main role here. And even fruits, there are restrictions to be followed. And comorbidities such as diabetes, hypertension, a very strict diet to control blood sugar and blood pressure values are advised here. So this personalization, why it is important? Because not everybody are facing the same side effects. No person will be facing all these side effects which is mentioned here. Maybe person A face appetite, person B face fatigue, person C may face any comorbidities along with appetite. That is why personalization is very important, and your onco-dietitian will help you in personalizing your diet.
Thank you, Ms. Sharmela ji, for your wonderful and crisp presentation on the appropriate diet pattern and diet strategy for the cancer patients. So now we will move to our discussion about Eat the Rainbow, unlock the impact of personalized diet for cancer patients during and after the cancer treatment with all our participants present here. So now I'm requesting everyone to please raise your hand. Please feel free to type the questions in our chat box in any regional language. Our care companions, they're available to help to translate the questions to us. But before that, already we have received a few questions from our patients and caregivers. And Ms. Sharmila, we would like to know more about it from you in detail. Requesting again to all our participants to please raise your hand if you have any doubt, and please feel free to write the questions in the chat box below. So now, the first question that we have received from one of our patients is that, is it really important to follow a proper diet during the cancer treatment? And particularly, it's about the protein supplement. Because she has mentioned that she's currently consuming 700 milliliter milk per day, and if that is adequate for her. What will be your suggestion on that, Sharmila?
I can understand their concern. Actually, to minimize the weight change, to heal properly, and to cope with new changes that treatment brings, nutrition is very important. Protein supplement is not required to all patients. It is again personalized according to the need. For example, if the patient do not undergo any weight change or not facing any side effects due to treatments, the supplement may not be necessary. And coming to the consumption of 700 ml milk, actually this needs to be a bit corrected. Let me highlight here, excessive milk consumption has a negative impact on cancer. So I recommend her to restrict it not more than 300 ml per day.
Okay, understood, Sharmila. In between, we have already started receiving from our patients as well who are present today. So one of the patient has asked that how to control the constipation, and exactly it started after the uterus removal. So what will be your opinion on that?
In this case, we need to check with the post-surgery day. Like it is how many days after surgery. So sometimes they may, like according to their appetite or according to the surgery done, they might have been recommended to start on liquids and then move on to semi-solids and then solids and then a balanced diet. So this is what is a gradual improvement actually when it comes to diet. Okay, so again, a high protein diet I would like to recommend here, so that will help in healing the wound faster. And a high fiber rich diet is also needed. For example, maybe if she has progressed to a soft solid diet or a solid diet, she can start taking roasted flax seeds or just raw flax seeds after her dinner, chew it thoroughly and swallow. And she must do this after dinner before going to bed. So this may help her get rid of constipation.
Okay, so thank you for letting us know in a very brief way and in an effective way as well for managing the constipation for the patient. And I'm sure that our patient will be, very much benefited from your answer. Again, another patient has asked Sharmila for you that if the sweets, any sort of sugar and shellfish, it needs to be avoided or not in cancer treatment.
Shellfish, yes, it can be avoided. They can depend only on simple fishes. And could you please repeat the question again?
Sure, sure. The question is that if any sort of sweets, sugar, and shellfish needs to be avoided completely during the cancer treatment.
Okay, so during the cancer treatment, let them avoid shellfish. They can depend on chicken soups rather than chicken pieces also. It is better to take only soups, strained soups. Pieces they can start taking after their treatment if they are tolerating well. Shellfish, let them avoid it. And coming to sweets, when it is made of white sugar, refined sugar, then let them avoid it. If it is going to be made of jaggery, then yes, they can take it. And it is very important, the person must be diabetic free. Then it is absolutely fine. If he or she is diabetic, then please ask her to avoid any sugars completely.
Okay, amazing. So the answer in brief that you wanted to say for our patient today is that the patients who are diabetic, for them surely there will be no sugar, either white or brown. But the patients who are not diabetic, for them surely the brown sugar is comparatively recommended in comparison to the white sugar. Okay.
Yes, right.
Thank you. Coming to the next question, Sharmila, here one of the patient has asked, how can be platelet increased during the chemotherapy and hemoglobin as well?
Okay, so coming to hemoglobin, we can try our level best to improve the hemoglobin through iron-rich food sources. And when it comes to iron-rich food sources, it will include green leafy vegetables, majorly if they are vegetarian. And if they are non-vegetarian, they can depend on lean meats like chicken, fish to improve their hemoglobin. And inclusion of vitamin C rich foods are very important to make sure the iron rich foods, whatever consumed, the iron content must get absorbed into the body as it is. So inclusion of vitamin C is important. For example, a very simple remedy is like whenever they take green leafy vegetables or fish, chicken, they can squeeze them 3 to 4 drops of lemon into it instead of waiting for time to go search for some vitamin C foods.
Okay. And also I assume that the element that you said, that is very much easily accessible
Yes.
everywhere. Okay.
Yes, and coming to platelets, I would like to clear here. Platelets, it is a bit difficult improving it, but sometimes papaya leaf extract supplements may help in improving platelets.
Okay. Okay. Coming to the another question for you, Sharmila. Feels like vomiting at mid morning or afternoon. What to do? Let me repeat the question once again for you. the patient wants to know that she's feeling like vomiting at mid-morning and or afternoon. So what needs to be done now?
Okay. So here it is clear that her breakfast is not affected. So her intake when it comes to mid-morning snacks or lunch is going to get affected because of her nausea, vomiting sensation. So maybe she can try taking some ginger water. That may help her bring down her vomiting sensation, because ginger has anti-emetic effect, which will help bring down the vomiting sensation. She can try some ginger barfi if she is not diabetic, or else a plain ginger water, just few piece, 1-inch piece. She can mash it, boil it, and filter it and have that water. It will take hardly 5 to 10 minutes. That will work.
So our patient Gokula Selvan, he wanted to know from you that if he can take dates or honey, because like probably he was told by you only that sugar needs to be avoided completely, and but there is no restriction in the fruits and vegetables or nuts as well. So the question is only about date or honey, if it can be consumed.
Yes, he can take it. I hope I remember him. Yes, I told to avoid only refined sugars. Sugars from fruits are okay, because this is one among frequently asked question. Because fruits contain sugar, can we take it? Can cancer patients take it? Please remember this. Sugars, like apart from sugars, fruits do contain a huge amount of antioxidants with them, which is going to help you fight cancer. So depend on fruits. No worries, that sugar won't affect you.
Okay. I wish that Mr. Gokula Selvan, you have received your answer that you were looking for from Sharmila. Coming to the next question, Sharmila, for you, that if shrimps needs to be avoided completely during the treatment.
Need not avoid completely. Maybe they can have a look on at their neutrophil counts. If the neutrophil counts are normal, there is no like if the neutrophil counts are not high or not low, then it's okay to consume any seafood. It is fine, but make sure the food is well cooked.
Okay. Okay.
That is the only reason why I tell avoid any seafoods apart from the plain good fish pieces. Avoid the other seafoods. The only reason is they must get cooked well. If it is not, then that will give trouble to you.
Okay. Then surely he is going to follow your recommendation for the same. Coming to the another question, like Sharmila, can you recommend any food item to reduce the skin itching?
Skin itching. Actually, skin itching, no, that is not possible to reduce it only via diet. Like they must consult a dermatologist only to bring down the skin itchiness.
Okay. Another question has has come up for you, that which food is better, completely fried or air fried?
Completely fried, of course, 100%. Everybody, all the cancer patients or the whomever undergoes treatment, better to avoid, because during treatment or after treatment or little bit before treatment, you must make sure that you are in a neutral environment. So it is a common truth that fried foods are going to trouble you in some way or the other. That may have an impact on the food intake. Just by consuming the fried foods for one meal, that may reduce your appetite or reduce your food intake completely for more than 2-3 days. So please avoid it. Air fried foods is okay to some extent. It is fine to take.
So you want to recommend the air fried food, and comparatively better if we compare it with the fully fried food. Okay. Okay.
Yes, but the food must not be burnt.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Wonderful. So let me translate this question for you. So one of our patient has asked that so the patient is diagnosed with lung cancer now, and basically the right lung has been affected badly, and he's coughing a lot. So can you recommend something that will help him to reduce the coughing? But
Okay. So lung cancer patients coughing is this troubles the patient. I can understand, but before that they must analyze whether the coughing is affecting the patient for a prolonged time during the daytime or during the night time. So that is important, and also check whether it is dry cough or wet cough. If it is going to be for a prolonged time with some with too much of chest discomfort, please do consult oncologist for better consultation. If it is a mild cough, mild dry cough, which is going to affect the sleep of the patient only, then of course they can try a simple soup with some simple ingredients from their kitchen before going to bed.
okay, okay. Sharmila, here's another question as well for you. That could you please recommend some fruits that will be helpful to patient, and which fruits patient should definitely avoid?
Fruits to avoid. There is actually no fruits to avoid when we generally speak on cancers. And sometimes I see oncologists recommending to avoid fruits. The reason behind it is there is a term called drug nutrient interaction. So few drugs won't go ahead with some fruits because of the composition. So when an oncologist is going to recommend you to avoid a particular fruit, then please do avoid it completely. And again, when the neutrophil counts are abnormal, please do avoid any fruits that is damaged or thin-skinned fruits. They can go ahead only with thick-skinned fruits. If there is no issue with the drug given by oncologist, if there is no issues in neutrophil counts, and if there is no allergy for the patient, then 100% they can take any fruits, and all the fruits are good for them.
Okay. Another question here for you is that can corn flour sabudana vermicelli be used?
Sabudana, yes, sabudana actually will help in some extent to control diarrhea if the person is facing any diarrhea. At the same time, it is calorie dense comparative to some rice kanjis or some rava kanjis. So sabudana can be used to make some simple breakfast that is helpful. Vermicelli, please check for the ingredient whether the vermicelli is made of refined flour or whole grains such as ragi or some millets, because in the market now it is available. Healthy vermicellis are available like ragi vermicelli and millets vermicelli. So they can go ahead with that. And what was the other food item mentioned?
Uh, is it corn flour?
Corn flour,
No.
better avoid it. It is okay to take corns. They are fiber rich, but as corn flour, better to avoid because it is most refined again.
Okay. One patient wants to know that what can be done for insomnia during the targeted therapy?
Please consult a psycho-oncologist. They will help better. If due to stress, if not due to stress, of course, maybe the intake during the bedtime or dinner, maybe it may be a reduced food intake. Sometimes reduced food intake also will cause insomnia. So eat well and make sure stay hydrated.
Sharmila, I just want to ask one question. Is the ideal food in palliative care? Like in palliative care, most of the patients are unable to eat solid food. Mostly they are keen of having semi-liquid or something this kind of, this sort of food. So can you please shed some light on that? The ideal food for palliative care?
So during palliative care, yes, comparative to the normal care, palliative care, the side effects are going to be on the bit higher side. It is, of course, difficult to, it is a great challenge. Rather than telling it is difficult, it is a great challenge coming out of those side effects. And semi-solid diets and liquid diets are most recommended because they are easy to digest. That is one reason. And they must make sure a lot of porridges like multigrain porridges or any one whole grain porridges or some health mixes which are richest sources of protein must be taken. If they are not okay taking this, or if the patient can't choose the better supplements, then please do consult the onco dietitian and she or he will actually guide on taking a protein rich supplement and how to inculcate it, because simply plain semi-solid diet and liquid diet is not going to help to remain strength. So a high protein supplement is for sure necessary, and only a dietitian can recommend it. We can't tell this is the general supplement for everybody. It is again personalized. So taking the consultation is better.
Thank you, Sharmila, for clearing the doubt. Like definitely, I'm sure that your recommendations will be a great help for the patients who is attending today's session. Coming to the next question that has like we have received in the chat box is that what is the normal fasting sugar level for women if someone is 62 years old?
Are they diabetic or anything mentioned whether they are diabetic? A1C levels?
No, it's not mentioned. So probably we can just keep this question on hold, and probably so it's a request from my side to the patient, sir, ma'am, if anyone has put this question, please contact with us further to mention that if it's the like before fasting or after fasting, I guess. Sharmila, I mean before food or after food, I guess. So probably sir, you can connect with us later.
Yes, and again, ma'am Jaitri, it is you let them be diabetic, whatever it is. Like always take guidance from the WHO website to learn the normal values. And sometimes, according to research, the normal levels, normal values that is fixed may differ.
Surely, sure.
There is any further research is done.
Definitely. So I assume that like now the answer is clear, and if anyone wants, if sir or ma'am, if the patient wants any further clarification, please get back to us so that we can give you the right appropriate answer. Coming to the next question in our chat box. So I am going to complete 1 year of my operation, and I was asked to take normal diet from day one. I am on regular exercise and yoga. Why constipation problem? If I am taking Triphala and Amla juice, my motion is clear, but I have to go 2 to 3 times per day.
This happens with post-surgery. It depends on what was the surgery done.
Okay.
And what was the medicines that were taken during surgery. Right. Sometimes it is possible to start with a normal diet like from day one of post-surgery period also. It is possible. If the surgery is a minor surgery, it is possible. But constipation may be because of the medicines taken, or maybe the fiber content in the food item is lacking.
So Sharmila, here your recommendation will be like to increase the fiber content in the diet so that the bowel movement can be more appropriate.
Yes, and taking Triphala and Amla juice. Amla juice is fine. Taking Triphala, please do take it only after consulting the better Ayurvedic doctor. So I see some are taking without taking consultations, because the dosage is very important. If the dosage is on the higher side, sure, loose stools is possible, or multiple times passing stools is also possible.
Okay. So another question that has come in our chat box is that can food be fried in air fryer? And I guess that already you have answered this question that yes, it can be fried, and also it's better than a normal full fried food as well. And another question that is also with this, pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, how much to take, and if dahi or lassi can be prohibited?
Dahi, lassi, and sunflower seeds. Again, here, please make sure your blood values are normal. If it is absolutely normal, yes, it is okay to take all the seeds. And the dosage can be like a half a spoon to 1 spoon a day, not more than that. Because that is enough. That will give you some enough proteins, and the remaining proteins you can need through your normal diet, balanced diet from dals and paneers or milk. So half a spoon to 1 spoon is the safest recommendation.
Okay. So here, Mr. Gokula Selvan, sir, welcome. And also we you have received the answer, and we all wish that these answers will be very effective for you. So please do in touch with us, sir, because the follow-up will be done by Sharmila with the specific interval with you as well. Another question that we have received, that my neutrophil are not coming in range despite protein intake. I have to depend on, just give me a second. I have to depend on filgastrim. I'm not sure, Sharmila. So please throw some light on that. I am going through hormonal therapy. What can I include in diet?
So just keep this in mind, neutrophil counts and protein intake. There is no relation. When the neutrophil counts are abnormal, it means that your body is fighting against some kind of infection. Sometimes it may be a simple sign that already your body is fighting against cancer, maybe because of that. So in that case, here actually protein do not have any correlation here. Hygiene has the relation here. So neutropenic diet must be followed, which means uncooked foods must be avoided completely whenever the neutrophil counts are abnormal. Let it be either high, let it be either low, whatever it is. Avoid all the uncooked foods. Let it be cucumber, let it be honey, let it be curd, let it be lassi, buttermilk. Avoid them completely. Even fruits, make sure the skins are not damaged. Do take only thick-skinned fruits. For example, banana, pineapple, pomegranates, watermelon, and muscadines.
Okay. Okay. Here, another patient has, asked us that what will be your take on tea or coffee intake, caffeine or any sort of herbal tea, if these are allowed during chemotherapy?
Yes, to some extent. There is no negative correlation, but again, that doesn't mean that they can consume tea, coffee for the whole day. Just 1 cup of either tea or coffee. That is enough. Even herbal tea, it is fine to take. But again, that must not get very much closer to your meals. For example, at least a half an hour gap must be there in between your tea, coffee, or herbal tea and your meal. That's it. Otherwise, they can take. No issues. That will help them. They are also rich in antioxidants.
Okay. Okay. And again, can blackening on nail during the chemotherapy can be managed by using any particular diet?
No. Diet is not going to help here, because that is again one side effect of a few drugs, not all the chemo drugs, just a few drugs. So consult a dermatologist or oncologist.
Okay. Here one patient again, he wants to know from you that what sort of tea is better, like the green tea or any normal tea that we consume in our day-to-day basis?
Comparative to other teas, green tea is better.
Okay. Okay.
Sharmila, I just want to ask you, is hibiscus tea good during chemotherapy?
Yes, even before, during, or after chemotherapy, yes, hibiscus tea is good. And also there is another tea called blue tea, where the blue flowers are used to prepare the tea. They are good. Teas made of flowers are also good. They are good. But make sure just 1 cup a day is enough. That is my recommendation. Not more than that. But they can take it regularly. That will help them. Comparative to the normal tea.
So as you said, Sharmila, so for patients, comparison to the normal tea, the green tea, hibiscus tea, and blue tea, these three are recommended. I mean, it's better than the normal tea that we consume on a day-to-day basis. And even if we are taking tea, that should not be more than 1 cup per day.
Yes, right.
And this is for all our participants as well, that yes, you can consume the tea, but as Sharmila correctly said that the use of white sugar should be less as much as possible. Coming to our next question, that I guess okay. So one patient has asked that if they go for walking or do any sort of work, they are feeling tired. So what can be done to boost the energy or to maintain a proper body energy to do the day-to-day or the exercise?
So tiredness during physical activity, that may be because of various factors. One may be because of overweight or obese. They are not able to balance themselves. That's why they are tired. Or maybe reduced food intake, which will simultaneously end up in reduced calorie intake. Because eating enough is very important. Meeting the calorie requirement is important. If that is not done, again, if there is possibility for tiredness, it is better to have a proper complete consultation so that I can analyze them what is the main reason behind their tiredness, because the factors are many.
Oh, understood, Sharmila. Here, one patient diagnosed with lung cancer, they want to know that if ripe banana in the breakfast he can take.
So ripe banana is fine when he or she is not diabetic. But again, my recommendation is do not consume only fruits as in your breakfast. Better you can take them in your mid-morning time. Anything in limit is fine. Food is like medicine when you take it in limits. So complete your breakfast with some wholesome whole grains or millets with some good fiber-rich contents, fiber plus proteinaceous food. Then go ahead with good fruits in the mid-morning time. Mid-morning time is the time gap between breakfast and lunch. So 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Thank you, Sharmila. I mean, that is really very much thoughtful, and we all wish that the patients will surely going to get some benefit after following your instruction. Another question that has come up here, that is, if fasting, it really helps in cancer?
No. It may end up in starving for energy. So do not follow any fasting or any fancy diets once diagnosed with cancer. It is not recommended. It is not safe. That may end up in some tragedy. Reduced blood sugar levels, tiredness, fatigue, extreme fatigue. So
Okay.
better avoid it.
Better to avoid, you are suggesting for our patients. Okay. Here again, one question for you, that if red meat, majorly goat or sheep, it is favorable for cancer patients after treatment or even during the targeted therapy as well?
Red meats is not going to be favorable to you. Of course, they are the highest protein-rich foods comparative to the other meats. But there are many studies, not 1-2 studies, many studies suggesting better to avoid red meats because they are the main reason for few GI-related cancers. At the same time, the risk for metastasis and recurrence may increase because of red meat consumption. So depend on your protein intake. For protein intake, please depend on lean meats, fish or skinless chicken and eggs. If vegetarian, paneer, tofu is fine.
Okay. Here again, one of our caregivers, has asked for you that her mother is lung cancer patient, stage 4, and currently she is taking Afanat tablet, and she is not at all taking food. So, how to manage this situation?
So first, please analyze what are all the side effects of the medicine being taken. We cannot blindly say maybe her appetite is only because of medicines being taken. Okay, it may be because of stress also. So first, it needs to be analyzed. Why is her appetite low? Her appetite is very much on the lower side. That is why she is not eating properly. So once her appetite is improved, then her intake will be improved. Why? Because sometimes the salivary glands will secrete the saliva on a very lesser quantity. That is one among the side effects during treatment. So only when this is corrected, the food intake can be corrected.
So Sharmila, your suggestion for our caregiver will be that first it's very important to understand the reason why exactly the appetite is compromised, and then only to take the necessary steps. That will be the best possible situation for our patient.
Yes, right. Let them analyze is only because it is only after taking that particular medicine if she's facing reduced appetite or she's having tastelessness issues. Sometimes the person may not feel the taste of the food. Because of that reason, they may feel like I don't want to eat foods. Sometimes there may not be any hunger feel at all. They may feel full all the time. So they need to what is the reason? Then we can go ahead with treating that reason, and then the food intake can be increased gradually.
Okay, Sharmila. Aditi, you were asking, please.
Sharmila, just one, suggest some healthy snacks and breakfast for patients in cancer treatment, especially protein-rich, easily available food. If you can help out with the patient for some healthy snacks.
So I will first complete the snacks because many are interested in snacks. Then I will come to breakfast. So coming to snacks, make sure whether they are diabetic or not diabetic. That is very, very important. Always, whenever a food is taken, what is the comorbidity? That is very important. If there is no comorbidities, then they can go ahead with some chickies, boiled dals, boiled green gram, boiled sundals. Poha is a richest source of iron also. Some puffed rice balls. If they are not diabetic, then they can go ahead with some sweetie dishes also. If they are diabetic, then they must make sure that whatever snacks they take is not sweeter. They can go ahead with some soups, boiled vegetables. Poha and simply puffed rice or masala puffed rice, that is not going to harm them much. They are actually good for them because they are richest source of iron and fiber also. So that will help them. And some health mixes also will do, like some ragi malts or some multigrain malts. Malts are very much helpful. The reason is malt will be easy for digestion compared to two simple flours that is prepared. There is difference between malt and simple multigrain flours. So learn that and choose the snacks wisely. And coming to breakfast, depend on millets. Millets is easily available nowadays in all the supermarkets. Millets is safer for everybody, even if they are diabetic, because that is both protein and fiber rich. That is going to help you recover faster and also remove the toxins from your body faster because they are fiber rich. Millets are the best. The next are whole grains like wheat-based foods or ragi-based foods, or some oats are also fine. Oats, cornflakes are also fine.
One of our patient again, wanted to ask Sharmila from you that in terms of indigestion, if any sort of papain digestive enzyme supplement can be taken.
Yes, but with oncologist advice. Only when oncologist recommends, not on their own. Because how they will come to a conclusion, it is only because of the secretions. It may be because of various factors. Maybe sometimes the surgery, whatever the surgery done in the GI tract, it may be because of various factors. So always, whenever they feel like taking any supplements because of some ads or because of the recommendation from the community or relatives or neighbors, please do consult your oncologist along with Onco-Dietitian also, and then take the advice and start taking the supplements. Do not or never take it on their own.
Wonderful. The question here is very real. The diet practice that has become very popular nowadays, that is the vegan diet, as we all know. The question here is that how can a vegan onco patient increase their protein intake through diet?
Dals. Dals.
Dals. Where do you support
Dals.
dals?
Yes, dals are the basic, the utmost basic level of protein that we can take in a vegan diet.
Here. So again, one patient has asked that what can be done for insomnia during the targeted therapy? And I think that already you have given that answer, that first the stress management and exactly the reason why probably the patient is not able to sleep. Exploring that part is very important. Is it, Sharmila?
Yes. Like whenever it comes to insomnia, let them please consult the psychologist first. Then comes diet.
So here, another patient, they have asked the question, which is the best oil to use for cooking?
The best oil, it is always better to consume oil in mixture. For example, 50% of groundnut oil plus 50% of sesame oil.
Okay.
This is first option. And coming to the next option, they can change their oil monthly. For example, month 1, they can depend on coconut oil, month 2 on sesame oil, month 3 on rice bran oil. But not refined oils, because cancer, when it comes to cancer, it is always, please better depend on cold pressed oils rather than refined oils to meet the essential fatty acids that is going to be easily available from cold pressed oils.
Okay. Sharmila, here one of our caregiver wants to know that they are planning to move to a completely plant-based diet for her mother with stage 4 breast cancer, and if that will be really helpful for them.
They are not, if they are non-vegetarian, then it is better do not make this shift immediately, because this may make the person deficient in B complex nutrients. This may. So I do not advise an immediate shift if they are non-vegetarian. They can depend on some, they can still take non-vegetarian sources in restrictive quantity. Restrictions are important. So in a restrictive quantity, they can still continue instead of making the sudden shift.
Okay. I wish that the patient, you have really, kind of got the answer, ma'am, for your mother, and I wish that you will think and please to discuss with our onco-dietitian again elaborately in detail before going ahead with changing the complete diet pattern, like the paradigm shift from non-vegetarian to complete vegan. So here we are here with our last question, Sharmila. The caregiver wants to know if there is any food item that can help his father's cancer not to spread to other organs. What will be your call on that?
Depend on spices. For example, cardamom, elaichi. The one which I mostly recommend to most of my patients. So that like they can include it in their day-to-day habits, like some detox water. They can prepare detox water using elaichi and consume it in their empty stomach and have it as their habit. They can follow it regularly, so that may help them. Along with that, a proper balanced diet with a healthy lifestyle. Either physical activity with some exercises or some yogasanas. So complete healthy lifestyle is very important.
Sharmila, here I got to know that you told something about the detox for the body that may be helpful. So can you please give us some example of the detox water in brief?
Yes,
A
sure.
few items if you can just speak about.
Yes. Because here detox, the term itself tells you are going to remove the toxins from the body. Sometimes whenever we are not enough hydrated, and number two, whenever we do not consume enough fiber rich foods, of course the toxins are going to get built up in our body in any of the organs, let it be liver, let it be kidney, whatever it is. So when they are enough hydrated, like at least 2 to 3 liters of plain waters per day, that will help in removing the toxins via urine. And there are some fancy detox waters also available, like some fruits are soaked or some leaves are soaked in water overnight. So of course they are also detox, but in addition to the detox done by water, there are few in nutrients that is leached from those food item into the water that is going to help you additionally. But I can tell the best simple detox is plain water, boiled cool down water.
So, Sharmila, thank you. Thanks a lot for clearing all the doubts for the patients. And let me mention here that detox water, as Sharmila said, that there are multiple ways. Water is the main ingredient thing. And if anyone wants to know many different types of detox waters, so please do contact with Sharmila uh, for any sort of Onco-Diet consultation. So now here, we are at the end of our today's webinar, and due to the time restrictions, we are really not able to answer all the questions, but yes, Ms. Sharmila, she will be available in Onco-Buddy to answer all the doubts and questions. So here, please feel free to connect with us in Onco-Buddy. Please feel free to post your questions in Onco Hub section as well. And Ms. Sharmila will be there to clear all your doubts. And please check the application Onco-Buddy, that is from 4-Base Care. And also, you can install this application Onco-Buddy that we will be talking after this directly from the Play Store, and please update it once in a while. And now, Sharmila will be explaining it more about it.
So from Onco-Buddy, patients can book consultation with the treating oncologist, counseling sessions from psychologists, dietitians, in addition to pain and palliative care specialists too, which we have added recently. And they can connect with patients who are in similar journeys. They can post any queries. Our experts are there to answer the questions. Additionally, they can also have access to structured and validated content on cancer care.
Here, if we want to talk more about Onco-Buddy, basically this is a 360-degree digital healthcare platform that aims at building a unified and patient-centric ecosystem to provide a holistic support to cancer patients and caregivers in their fight against cancer. And the previous domains and the areas that Sharmila just now spoke about. Now, here, I'm thanking everyone, particularly all our participants, all our panelists, and Sharmila for being in today's event. We are going to see everyone in the next month.
Yes, also feel free to share your feedback on the meeting so that we can constantly improve.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everyone, and have a good health.